Hey guys, Huzzy here bringing you another video. Now welcome to more kind of like beginning of worlds content, and today we are watching Svenskeren. So he is the jungler of Cloud9. Again, I believe someone said in the last pro video we did of Licorice that Svenskeren got MVP or something of the split recently. So he should be pretty good. You know, he used to be, he's jumped around a few pro teams. I think he used to be on the same team as Doublelift at one stage or something like that. And, you know, he's been a pretty solid jungler here on there. And I also got to give props to him if I'm thinking of the right person. He used to be, you know, a bit of a chubby lad. And now if you actually look at him, he's really in shape. So that's also cool to see and also very inspirational to us fellow gamers. So, random little invade happening that the Renekton, I guess, didn't think that all of the enemy team was around. He does flash out the way. Enemy team might be caught here because I don't think they're expecting all 5 to be here right now. Rengar's going to try and make his way out. He does flash away. Nidalee is chasing, which is Sven. I went, by the way, for this Nidalee replay because, one, people wanted to watch Svenskeren. He is going to die. Boom, he's dead. So this invade is actually turning into red team's favor. Let's see how it goes. Rengar does die in the end. Alistar low health, but that doesn't really matter. Renekton's teleporting in. Maud goes down by the Gangplank double kill. Yasuo's going to have the wind wall, tornado. We'll get a double tornado. Rakan puts himself in a bit of danger. Yasuo in the mix of 2 people. Another red team teleport happening right now. And bingo bango, this does not look very good for red team. Rakan's going to be waiting for his W, most likely. Rakan will go down in the end. And now the Renekton is going to be going for the Alistar. Alistar very low health, but Renekton has nothing more. He has used E, and he had that at level 1. So Alistar will make his way to safety. And that is the end there. Brand is looking for a little bit more in this whole fight. Now Mordekaiser's passive is kicking off. And that will be that. Holy moly. That was insane. Renekton, for some reason, is not heading top lane. Oh, it is because it's a Renekton mid and a Mordekaiser bot, so he should be making his way to bot line any second. Anyway, returning to the person that we're highlighting today, Sven. Or Svenskeren. I know there's like 2 pro players that obviously sound kind of similar. I think Sven is what, the AD carry of G2, or he's an AD carry, and then you've got Svenskeren, who is the jungler. But I guess you can call them both Sven. But from memory, one's with a Z, one's with an S. But they're pronounced the same. The magic of Nordic languages, I guess. So once again, Brand does die to the Renekton. A lot of people may go, you know, is this a, you know, what rating is this? So right now, Svenskeren is Grandmaster EU West. He has a 54% win rate. And again, remember, because some people are like, that isn't amazing for a pro. Do remember, we said it in the last episode, that these pros are given Diamond 1 MMR accounts before they even do the placements. So, you know, they'll probably end up in Diamond 1, roughly, when they complete their placements. And, you know, they're not going to have an insane win rate because they're already playing against pretty good players straight away. But if, you know, memory serves correct, Svenskeren, his home server technically is EU West. He's just playing, obviously, professionally in North America for the past few years. But yeah, Brand mid is a bit weird to see, but Renekton, a lot of people might like, why is Renekton mid? It's a pretty decent pick. You know, he's good into a lot of mages because they're squishy. What I personally think Renekton is fantastic into, while there is something weird happening here, like these... Okay, so these 2 are taking the Scuttle Crab away from the junglers, I guess. I love Renekton into... What is going on this game? Yasuo's nearly getting that kill. Now Rengar with no flash is completely caught out. Does get the tornado, and he will go down. No idea what was happening there. But I like Renekton into assassins. Because what the hell is an assassin going to do to a Renekton? That's what I like, so would recommend. But how weird of this is a higher rating EU West game, and there is not an AD carry in sight. It's Yasuo and Mordekaiser who are taking the AD carry slots. The meta, man, again, the meta right now in League of Legends is very open. There's a lot that you can play. Spear coming in does miss. Renekton does get stunned by the Brand, and that is probably a dead Renekton. By the Nidalee does pick up the kill, and what will happen now, the Nidalee will help push it because the Brand is to get the advantage of the kill, especially when you know Renekton doesn't have teleport. Help him push, let him go back, he doesn't miss too much wave, and he still maintains an XP lead. So he'll go back now, both of them actually will, and actually here, that base right there, this means that Svenskeren was challenger, by the way. That is a challenger recall. I took this replay from like yesterday, so that means he demoted. So that's a challenger recall. You only get that if you're in challenger. And I looked up his profile literally just before recording this, Grandmaster. So that means either he's lost a couple games, which I don't think he did. That means other people have taken his position in challenger. Again, remember, the promotion series and everything between Master, Grandmaster and Challenger gets updated every single day, I think at midnight. So he could be back in Challenger tonight, for example. It's just the way that it goes. Right, so a bit more farming. Worth noting that it's already level 5. I think a lot of people may not expect that. Yeah, already level 5, making their way to level 6. Again, if you look down here, it's very kind of small. If you're on mobile, you won't be able to probably see it. But there is a bar halfway to level 6 right there. Rakan in vision right now. Level 3 to level 4 Alistair. Will deny the vision. And again, going for a... Okay, not going for a solo dragon. I thought that might have been a bit too risky. Because, you know, if you are... Nidalee's not known for her solo dragons. But yeah, Nidalee is a pick that you really don't see that much. You would potentially deem her a meta one-trick pony pick. What I mean by that is you only see her if she's meta, and if she's not meta, you only see her if it's a one-trick pony. So it is rare for a pro randomly just to bring out Nidalee, and obviously he's playing solo queue. A lot of these picks are probably not... He missed the cannon. A lot of these picks are not going to be pretty much used for Worlds. Renekton might go for a dive. He does go against it, and you can see there is a, well, now 1 level difference between the mid laners. Brand is definitely struggling versus a Renekton. And, you know, Brand mid is not known to be incredibly strong either. There is a reason that he got, let's say, demoted to support. But yeah, let's see how the rest of the game goes. Because, you know, I want to see some good spears by him, because that's kind of the bread and butter of Nidalee, obviously. It'll be interesting to see if we can get some picks on the Renekton. Scuttlecrab is up. This is potentially going to be contested. Renekton running to the bot lane. They do not know he's here right now. Lack of vision. Yasuo's not level 6. Rengar coming in, gets exhausted. Nidalee is in the area, goes for a spear, instantly lands. Yasuo doing actually a lot of work there. Does get the kill with the Alistair Ignite. Nidalee's going to try and do her best. Gangplank ult comes through with blue team, and that will be that. So again, another assist for the Nidalee, 1-1-2 so far, versus the 0-3-3 Rengar. So both junglers being involved in the same amount of kills, but obviously one jungler having a harder time staying alive. Which, let's be honest, makes sense. It's Rengar. He's a risky pick. He falls into me the category of picks like Draven, Yasuo, Talon, hell, even Zed a little bit, that you either go balls to the wall, well, you have to go balls to the wall pretty much to do well on those champions, and it either pays off or it really doesn't. And that's Rengar. Like, we've all been in situations, I presume, that, you know, there's a Rengar on the enemy team that one-shots you, and you're like, there's nothing I can do. But then sometimes there's that Rengar, you're like, this dude is so weak, holy moly. There's not much in between with that champion. And this is a game that he's definitely struggling in the early game. But again, don't count him out, because if you look at the blue team, relatively squishy. Nidalee coming in, lands the spear on the Renekton, gets flashed on instantly. Nice combo by the red team. Does just completely burst her. Don't think Svenskeren expected that. But eventually Alistair kills the crocodile. So today here, folks, we have learnt a cow is mightier than a crocodile. Who knew? If you watched that, what was that old film? It wasn't obviously Anaconda. There was like a version of Anaconda that had a massive crocodile. What was that one? This was like an old lady that like kept it a secret, and I think the croc ate her husband. Anyway, we're getting off track. Anyway, bot lane, they do a dive and it pays off. They do kill the Rakan. Rengar quite confidently, by the way, doing a steal. Having a rough game, and he's like, I'm going to invade and steal. So let's see how this pays off. He does steal it. Nidalee has now just found out that this has just happened. She would have had vision, probably very briefly, of that steal. Don't think there could be a 1v1 there, or at least I wouldn't try to take it on. Nidalee has completed her jungle item with Red Smite. So again, why Red Smite? I hear the people in the back of the theatre, you know, yes, you're all watching this in a theatre, asking the question. It's for dueling capability. You know, the slow, it doesn't give much to a Nidalee, because you're either going to hit your spear and jump on somebody. At that point, you don't need the chilling smite slow. So a lot of the time, you get the smite on somebody once you pounce on them, and it gives you that damage reduction and stuff like that. Because again, Nidalee is fairly squishy, and yeah, it's just more effective in the grand scheme of things. As for top lane, relatively farm intensive, both actually having a relatively nice game. You know, yes, Vladimir is ahead, but if you actually look at gold income, they're even. I could have easily predicted that. Why? It's Gangplank. So he has obviously got a kill up on the Vladimir, where the Vladimir has 2 assists, so that's roughly even. But the Gangplank makes gold. He makes bank from just farming. And he's not running Klepto, he's running Grass, which is the more standard Gangplank thing to do nowadays. Potentially engage coming by bot lane, misses the Tornado, Nidalee clearing vision. There is still a potential play on right now, and you can also see there is a 2-level gap between the enemy bot lane, which is a little bit weird. Nidalee, if you're wondering, bad combo there by him, why is Nidalee throwing the spears at the dragon occasionally? It's actually a deeper thing than just randomly doing it. So what does dragon do once you've aggroed it? It goes to the nearest target. What that means is if there's no one in range of the dragon, it'll just kind of go, what happened, and then reset. If the enemy jungler, for example, was there, or like here, you know, they don't have vision. Blue team right now do not have vision. So Rengar could be there, and if dragon is speared and Rengar's here, the dragon would go over there. So that is really smart by Svenskeren doing that. That's like a little play, like a micro play that a lot of people are like, why is he doing that? It's actually really smart. It's to detect if someone's near the dragon, like the enemy jungler. So again, that's something that you guys can take up and pick up on, and that's really smart League of Legends. Alistar going for a dive. Nidalee finds a Rakan. Alistar doing a Hex Flash through the tower. There's a big play potentially on here. Yeah, Rakan, ooh, bad play actually by Alistar there with a Gangplank ultimate. Doesn't pay off. Bit messy by the Alistar, has to be said. So he did miss a combo here, and he did just muck up a little bit there too. Rengar doing a dive on the Brand. Again, usually you can see where the dead Brand, well, it's here, but he's burnt away. Because, yeah, Brand, unfortunately, when he dies, doesn't leave a body. His body, like, fades away and gets burnt. So it's like, huh? So Nidalee finally is doing this dragon. At level 8, obviously can solo it. Worth noting that both junglers are equal footing in terms of XP. And Rengar is slowly making a comeback. And blue team is relatively squishy. The counter to it is if Alistar can just time his W perfectly, or Yasuo can time a Tornado perfectly. Big counter, but obviously that isn't the easiest thing to pull off. So we're in a very similar situation that we were a little while ago, where the Nidalee obviously got killed in one shot practically. Not that happening this time, but a lot of roaming is occurring. You know, the Rakan is mid lane quite a lot. The Alistar is looking here and there. Rengar does pick up the Rift Herald, which again is a bit sloppy by Svenskeren. So again, in these episodes, you know, we're trying to answer a question. So in the double lift episode, is he legit? And the answer was from that gate, yes, very clean mechanics had double lift. Then in the Licorice episode, we looked at, you know, a mechanical god. He made basically only, from my memory, one mistake in that whole game. So far with Svenskeren, it hasn't been as obvious to me so far, but again, maybe the dude's strength isn't early game. Maybe his strength is mid to late game. Every player is different, and every game is different. Maybe this game, he's just not finding what he needs. What he is doing is maintaining good farm. If you actually look at the farm, he is up there in normal farm. You know, Gangplank 87, or Nidalee 93 or 97 now, that's really good. And that's basically, yeah, he can't find these ganks all the time. He's being relatively relevant. He's got a 50% kill participation, so that's not terrible. But what he's doing is keeping himself in the game by farming very well. And that's what you got to do. If you're a jungler right now, you're like, I can't find any ganks. Well, power farm. Like, get strong by farming, because jungle farming gives you so much gold. But a lot of junglers just don't do it very well. If you go back and watch my recent Volibear episode in Back to Master, again, potentially, I don't know which order I'm doing this, potentially tomorrow I'm doing a Vi episode. Both of those games I farm pretty well, because you can't always find ganks. The junglers that you, like, you know, need to improve are the ones that, again, we've mentioned it before, they sit in a bush for a while and they don't get anything done. Mordekaiser does ult away the Yasuo. Rakan's probably going to go down, does go down. Yasuo out of the tower range now, just waiting, biding his time. Alistar's going to come back now. They should just back away. They're not going to get this kill. Alistar going a bit too greedy under the tower will go down, and they will back away. So it was okay getting the kill on Rakan. They could have survived that if they chose to run away and not fight the Mordekaiser under a tower. Big play potentially coming out in the mid. Brand is in a 3v1. Renekton chasing down with E and his flash. Rengar coming through as well. They are going to look for a play here, though. Renekton is probably going to go down. Oh, nullifying orb, big time for the Renekton. He does go down to the Yasuo. Yasuo now returning for the Renekton. He is going to make his way. Yasuo's got flash. He is going to die, maybe? Yasuo so far doing very well. Nidalee should go up and help heal. Ew, return damage. That may be a bit too late. Nidalee healing herself does go down as well. So again, a little bit of mistakes here. Again, that could be communication error or just, you know, you're not expecting what your teammates are always going to be doing. Alistar might look for engage, but I doubt it. That Vladimir is actually very strong right now. And this game could 100% go either way. The enemy team slightly ahead, obviously. Scaling-wise, they have a Vladimir. They've got a Rengar. Both very powerful in late game. But The opposite to that, they have a Renekton that is arguably going to fall off. Mordekaiser, very good in late game, but it's the case of how useful can you be as Mordekaiser. Obviously, I play him. I like him. But the most useful thing, what is happening here? Gangplank, I think, being a bit too cocky, has to flash away, while the Vladimir still had ultimate by the end of that play. The thing with Mordekaiser is, yes, your damage isn't bad, but a lot of the time you can't get your damage off in mid to late game. But there's the case of how useful can you be is usually tied to your ultimate with Mordekaiser. Can you steal away the jungler on a dragon or a baron? That's really good. Can you steal away, let's say, a Brand before he presses R? Can you steal away a Yasuo before he presses R? Those are the things that make Mordekaiser good in late game, and if you can't get them off, well, he's kind of Mord. He's okay, like his damage is decent, but he's just very slow. Rengar going for a play here, doesn't even flash. Does a stopwatch counter to the Rengar. I presume he's going to die eventually here. Nice play by Gangplank. He is desperately looking for the Nidalee, you can tell. And now, nice spear in the face, in midair, Matrix style. Also Renekton getting caught out. Vladimir coming through though. Very fed, obviously. Rakan making his way downtown. Nice spear by Nidalee. They're going to go for return damage. Nidalee going to chase down potentially with the rest of her team. Alistair does a combo, does get killed as well. But the Vladimir, high damage, high squishiness. Nice spear. Good kill by Nidalee there with an auto attack and a double kill on Rakan. Very nice play. And when I'd say that is calculated. So what you'll see is there were times that the Nidalee could have pounced right onto people. Svenskeren chose not to, because why would you want to jump onto a pretty fed Vladimir? Kept his distance, auto, going for auto attacks in all that play. A lot of people wouldn't. Auto attacking with your spears, obviously landing the spears is important. So very calculated play, which I love to see. And then boom, solo kill for Brand, which is quite surprising on the Mordekaiser. And they will now return for Dragon. So a good objective play happening by Svenskeren, going for control of the dragons, obviously taking 100% of them so far, which is great to see. That's kind of my style of jungling at the moment. If you watch the Volibear episode, for example, you'll see that. But also very calculated with when he's doing damage. He's not playing dumb. He's not going in 100% because he knows he can't. So that's awesome. That's also a good Nidalee player, because I've seen Nidalees. Again, I don't know why, but in my head I think like Nidalee and Katarina, those type of champs are like, oh, they want to go in, get their damage off. It's the ones that are careful about when they go in are the best players, naturally. And what we have seen here is, yeah, very good calculation for when the Nidalee is actually going in. Worth also noting, we mentioned it earlier, farm-wise, good combo, Yasuo ultimate and into the combo, and a nice kill for Yas. Farm-wise, 135 farm. They are up in tied position on their team for tied farm with the Yasuo right now, more or less. And to the enemy team, the Nidalee and the Yasuo even only behind the Vladimir. So this is where the separation is. This is a challenger, grandmaster type game on EU West. Pros are good, obviously. Solo queue is a bit different to pro play because it's not coordinated. Nice stopwatch counter again. Now Rengar's caught out. He doesn't have flash. He will get owned by the Nidalee with a high damage. But yeah, that Rengar's fallen for that twice. Again, check before you jump is always the way that you should do it. Now the loop is coming through for the Vladimir. But yeah, pros sometimes aren't always going to stand out mechanically to solo queue players. Surprisingly, I know. But what pros usually have on solo queue players? Decision making. That is one of the biggest differences. Like, if you watch Double Lift, he's been praising EU going down. This Diamond 1 EU game is as good as a Challenger NA game mechanically. But he wins games by decision-making of when to do stuff, who to go for, and that's what we're seeing with Svenskeren. Decision-making is on point. And that's, I guess, again, if we're trying to put something to each of these pros, Double Lift, mechanically and decision-making both really good. Licorice, mechanics, or godlike. Svenskeren, decision-making. Like, so far, that's what it is to me. Yeah, his mechanics are decent, but it doesn't stand out to a challenger EUS player. It's his decision-making so far that has been good. It's where to be and when. He's maintaining high farm, good kill participation, high damage, and he's taking every dragon so far. That's the combo of what separates a solo queue player and a pro player, and that's great to see. So, taking the red buff still, he is obviously not at the point in the game that he wants to give this away. And the answer is he might never want to give this away. Why? He's pretty damn strong, Nidalee does like red buff. There's no secret about that. So there might be a point that he's like, I'm not giving the Yasuo red buff. Yasuo obviously would like red buff, but you don't have to. You have to remember now, Nidalee getting caught by the Rengar. This is potentially not good. Zhonya's again. Rengar flashes away, the Nidalee does. Rengar gonna ult, maybe loop around, but I doubt it, and Nidalee will survive. So again, a good Zhonya's purchase. That is a purchase more for just one little thing. That is against the Rengar. That is against a Vladimir ultimate. That's just a good pick in general. Big thing happening in this pit. The Renekton does go down. Mordekaiser caught. Another kill by the Nidalee. And voila. So, game is slowly, you know, only what, 5 minutes ago roughly? This game was very even. Hell, the red team was actually ahead. It is slowly turning inside and out. And blue team is starting to win. Baron is being started. Wow, okay. Again, this wasn't Nidalee's decision. So we have said decision making so far has been on point. Well, we can't praise Nidalee's decision making for this because it wasn't. But they should back out, by the way. Kill the Vladimir while you're in the Baron pit, or, you know, out of the Baron pit, because Vladimir literally killed. Nice combo by Alistar. Rakan with the charm. Doesn't matter too much. Renekton, I guess, is teleporting to his death. Nidalee, you can see, watch her positioning. Still very smart. So they're not going all in at times. They're making sure she lands one of the passive, the spear, or the trap, then goes in practically every single time. Rengar going to die to the brand, and now they will return to the Baron. Mordekaiser is making his way through, and again, likely person to ult, I guess, is the Nidalee. But, you know, he has to try and steal it, I guess. But this is most likely going to be a free Baron, you know. What is the Mord realistically going to do against all these people? The answer is not much, especially if he gets caught and then instantly killed by the Aswell. And again, remember, for gold income, when you're playing something like Nidalee, you have a heal. So before something happens, make sure you heal an important target. 1, it's helping them. 2, from memory, it gives attack speed to the person you heal. And 3, if that person ends up killing stuff and you don't even do any damage, you're getting assists. So it's free gold, baby. Make sure you get those heals in, and Svenskeren obviously is doing that. Very confident game showing by Svenskeren so far, and you can definitely prove that by the Medjai's purchase. That is something you very rarely see in Challenger or any server, and usually it's on what you'd call Medjai's champions. Champions that are designed not really to die. Jan is a great example of Medjai's. Yuumi is a great example of Medjai's champion. They're not designed to die. If you're dying on those champions, you're having a bad game. Nidalee is very all in, but I guess the the confidence with Svenskeren, like we've said throughout this episode, is his calculation of when to go in. So he's like thinking, oh, this is a free Medjai's because I know when not to go in. Therefore, I will keep my Medjai stacks. So he doesn't want to die the rest of the game. It is bad if Svenskeren dies. Keep that in your mind. It is bad if he dies for the rest of the game because he's bought a Medjai's. Enemy team going for a full engage. I guess they kind of have to. Yasuo caught in the middle, not getting ultimate off yet. He is still alive. Will heal a little bit, does go down in the end. These 3 bunched up, haven't done that much. Rengar does ult. He couldn't get into the target he wanted to. Really nice damage by those 3. Nidalee here, by the way. Vladimir going in, does a bit of return damage. Renekton will go down. Nidalee in Zhonya is going to try and run away. Lands, misses a spear. Brand does a nice combo, does become unstoppable, so he has turned his game around. Nidalee going to run away. They're going to go back in. I would expect a bit of damage, and they will get the ace in the end. So again, very nice. Very nice play. Good calculation. Nidalee didn't go too all in. Probably still maintained a decent amount of damage that fight. But again, like we said, he don't want to die. Like, if he dies, that's really bad. So that's why he doesn't go all in anymore. He only goes all in, only goes for damage when he knows he ain't dead. And that's fine. Again, some people could call it KDA protection. Partially it is, but you have to when you've bought a Medjai's. Like, you just have to. The item is not worth having. I think it becomes cost effective around 14 stacks or something like that. Again, it's changed throughout the year, so it might be different. But yeah, very good. And again, dragons being pinged. Bit of overstay potentially by the brand. They should just run by now. Nice damage on the Mord. Rengar going to ult in onto the brand. He will Zhonya's the Rengar damage once again. Nidalee returning. Nice damage again. She's going in because she's confident. Will she survive, though, is the question. Vladimir coming in. She has to run. The Vladimir is going for it. Nidalee does die. Mistake number 1. Not terrible, though. Alistar, I guess, didn't even want to go for that combo. Just gets rid of the Vladimir. Yasuo going to return for the thingy. Doesn't get it. And now Vladimir will most likely go down. He keeps missing this combo, this Alistar. I don't know if that's intentional, but holy moly. He is going to try and land the combo. Will he do it this time, ladies and gentlemen? He landed the combo, I think, unless the Yasuo cancelled the combo, and it didn't really matter, but the Vladimir will go down. The blue team right now should just go and do the dragon, because, again, that has been the general consensus of this game. Apart from the Rift Herald, they have controlled all the objectives. They've got tower control in general, and now they will go for the other mountain dragon, which, again, unfortunately, it's been mixed dragons, which isn't always the worst thing, but usually, like, I want 2 mountains, I want 2 infernals, I even want 2 ocean dragons. Usually, doubling up is better than just getting 1 of each, because obviously they scale really well. But yeah. Right, so item build again, we haven't really mentioned too much. Standard jungle item we mentioned, Zhonya's the counter. Haven't mentioned the Athenes. The reason for Athene's pretty self-explanatory, is it gives a lot what Nidalee wants. Magic resist against like a Vladimir or something like that. It gives cooldown reduction, it gives mana regen. Like there's a lot of stuff with Athene's that you actually want. If I'm not mistaken, it might even have a healing property now as well. So gain 35% of blah blah blah, damage to the champion's blood charges, healing or shielding another ally consumes. So yeah, when they heal someone else, it does give something, whatever it is. It's good for Nidalee. I can't be bothered to read all of it. So gold lead very much in blue team's favour at this point. Rakan looking for a potential engage pick. Flank doesn't go for it. Wasted control ward. Mordekaiser will die in the mid lane getting caught, I guess. And they are going to try and kill this Renekton, the 2 musketeers, I guess. Nice spear. Again, good spears has to be said. I'd say hitting at least 50% of them. And again, that's the one, another spear hit. That's a thing that I think a lot of people don't get with Nidalee. If you hit 20% of your spears on Nidalee, it's actually not bad. It's like throw as many as you can, lands another one, so there's 3 in a row. Throw as many as you can. A lot of the time your spears, yes, you want them to land, but they're also a mechanism to make the enemy team uncomfortable. They constantly have to be moving, otherwise they're going to get a spear in the face. That's a really good thing. Lovely play by Alistair, by the way. Gets the W onto the Rakan just before the Rakan can get into the middle of the team. So that was really good. He's redeemed himself there. Nidalee kills the Renekton. Yasuo kills the Rakan. Rengar, you can see, he's just kind of fallen off at this point. He can't get onto the target he really wants to. He does kill the Gangplank in the end. But again, in the end of the team fight, when all of his team is already dead. That's the problem with Rengar, is unless you're having a mighty game, which again, he's 5-9, which he's not, obviously, you struggle quite a lot with that champion. But there we go. That is going to be the game. Very good game by Svenskeren here, and I'd say very clear that he carried the game pretty much. Like, the Yasuo got a decent amount of kills, but a lot of the setup was from Nidalee. Objectives was mainly Nidalee. Great decision making, and he also, by the way, does make it to 25 stacks in the end. But hopefully you guys enjoyed. Let me know which pro you want to see next down below. Hopefully you guys are enjoying this content. I enjoy making it. And it's refreshing to watch pros that are normally not on EU West. It's cool. And again, hopefully I get to play with some of them, but they're all playing in the evening, and I generally have the evenings off, so it's a bit awkward. But yeah, if you guys did enjoy, throw a like on the video, throw a comment, throw a subscribe. Also, finally, apologies for the wet hair. I just came back from the gym. Didn't mention it, but I thought I might as well now. But I'll see you guys next time. See you.